Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video on the Random Boy channel. That was what's going to be my first video of the year. So, it was a couple months ago, but I wanted to talk about it now because I may not have overanalyzed it. So, a composer for Five Nights at Freddy's revealed something called Forgotten Names and Faces. That's a little bit too long, so let's just call it FNAF. And then we got a poem called Into the Abyss. I had to read the poem, analyze the poem, basically write down a whole bunch of stuff before my winter break. So technically, this is a multi-month project. So, let's begin on all the info that we have. So again, a FNAF composer uploaded 2 tweets, both being FNAF related. But first, we need to go over the Forgotten Names and Faces thing before we get into the Abyss. So, the Forgotten Names and Faces thing was uploaded on Twitter/X on the date of September 18th, 2025. It included music from Help Wanted 2, and when you shorten it, you get FNAF. The same initials as Five Nights at Freddy's. So this is either a new project, or just working on a FNAF album. My guess is it's probably going to be a new FNAF game. First, we need to go over the meaning of Forgotten Names and Faces. So when looking into any teaser, definitions and context is key. First, let's look into the definition of Forgotten Names and Faces. Forgotten Names and Faces is a phrase used to create tension or trying to uncover lost identity or history of a place. So basically the unknown. That's what I can boil it down to. The unknown is basically what Forgotten Names and Faces is. So when we got that first teaser, we shouldn't have been thinking about the acronym. We should have been thinking about the meaning. And let's go into the Abyss definitions. Yes, there are multiple of them. The first definition, being an adjective, is a state of sadness and fear, and sometimes violence. And then the second definition is a gap of ideas or people. And the third is descending into evil. And the fourth is engaging with chaos, terror, or the unknown. Keyword unknown. That is something shared between the Into the Abyss definitions and the Forgotten Names and Faces definitions. They boil down to one thing, the unknown. So basically, it has to be of a place that we don't know much about. We just learned about Chica's Party World, so that leaves one location, and we all know what it is. If there's one place that we don't know much about in the FNAF franchise, it is definitely Fredbear's Family Diner. But yes, we technically had a game all around in FNAF 4. We first got introduced to it in FNAF 2 in a phone call.
Try to contact the original restaurant owner. I think the name of the place was Fredbear's Family Diner or something like that. It was closed for years, though. I doubt we'll be able to track anybody down.
Then we got more info in FNAF 3. We got a bunch of info in FNAF 4, but FNAF's sister location onwards, we didn't get much about it, until Security Breach. But the main mystery is, what was it like there? What was the building layout? Are there more characters? And of course, in Secret of the Mimic, there is Monty and Bub, but we don't know if those are Fredbear's Family Diner characters. And the theme of the unknown in the actual teasers tells us that maybe, just maybe, we're getting a Fredbear game. And they've shown interest in making a game in the 70s or 80s. Yes, they already did with Secret of the Mimic, but with the amount of prequel stuff that we've gotten, such as The Week Before, Into the Pit, Secret of the Mimic, and the movies if you want to include them, then I don't see any reason why this shouldn't be the case. The only other place that we don't know much about is the original MCI Freddy's. Even though we do know some things about that. More than Fredbear's Family Diner. We know that it was the first FNAF 1 location. We know that the MCI happened there. We know that the original suits were there. We know more than Fredbear's Family Diner. All that we know from Fredbear's Family Diner is that it was a family restaurant that opened somewhere in the late 70s, but closed in 1993 due to the bite of 83. But it would potentially be reused. There is a whole bunch of theories saying that it was reused. That, and I don't know, in the old games, aka 2 through 4, it was mentioned a lot. Then it got a ton of resurgence in Security Breach Ruin, and such. But there is one other thing. What did Fredbear look like? We've had so many designs for him, ranging from Ultimate Custom Night, FNAF 2, and FNAF 3. So, what gives? I think that it stopped because I'm just running out of ideas. But let's get into the other thing this could be talking about, although it is highly less likely. Okay, so basically, a couple years back, Clickteam was cryptically revealing a new FNAF project. We still don't have any info on it, and maybe this was what they were talking about? I almost said we there. But anyway, if this is about the unknown, and if we're talking about the unknown, then I guess there's still a whole lot of gaps to fill with these teasers. But it's highly unlikely because it hasn't been talked about in 2 years. And if it is, then I'll eat my hat. But that was a very short chapter. Let's get into the end of the video. So, after all of that, what do I personally think is going to be the next Five Nights at Freddy's game? I personally believe that it's going to be a free roam by Studio Wool. I mean, that's a no-brainer. Set in Fredbear's Family Diner, where we learn about what happened there, and what happened after the bite. That's the best time that that's secured. Even though a Clickteam project is highly unlikely, it still is possible. I guess we'll have to see in the future. Okay, that has been what I think the next FNAF game is going to be. Theory. This has been The Random Boy. Check out my other videos. The Random Boy, out. Subscribe and like the video now if you like it.